Maxwell House Coffee presents Good News of 1939. The makers of Maxwell House Coffee welcome you to another hour of entertainment brought to you by the Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer Studios in Hollywood. With the regular Good News cast of entertainers, Fanny Bryce and Hanley Stafford, Frank Morgan, Meredith Wilson, and Gertrude Niesen, plus our special guests for tonight, Melissa Corgis and Carrie Wilson. And here is your host of the evening, Albert Young.
Thank you, Warren, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. There's a government rule against personal communications on the air, but at the risk of being called a cad by the Federal Communications Commission, I would like to take this opportunity to thank those friendly listeners who sent me messages of congratulation after my emergency performance last week. For the benefit of new members, I might explain that my good friend Robert Montgomery's voice was taken away by that old dabble laryngitis about a half an hour before whistle time last Thursday, and I had to play his part in some scenes from his new picture, Fast and Loose, with Miss Rosalind Russell. Frankly, I was scared to death, and I think I was pretty lucky to finish it without falling down right here in the studio. And believe me, I appreciate the kind words that have reached me from some of you good people. Incidentally, don't forget to see Bob Montgomery's great performance in the picture. Well, that's off my chest, and I'm earnestly hoping there will be no emergencies tonight, because I positively refuse to attempt to double either for Melissa Corgis or Gertrude Niesen. Now Meredith starts us off with a rather cautious proclamation of the new season, a song called It Seemed to Be Spring.
It seems to be spring, little songbirds form in quartet. This talented thing nature forgets. Snow must have felt it was rather wiser to melt. The warmth of your voice has left it no choice. It seems to be spring, little lights are lighting about. Come closer and cling, not a person barking about. Those cold loves, all my old love from me I fling. It seems to be spring in my heart.
Meredith, congratulations.
Oh, no, I want to congratulate you, Bob. Many happy returns of yesterday.
Oh, thank you.
Well, another birthday come and gone for our Bob Young. Well, there's one consolation, Bob.
What's that?
No matter how old you are, you'll still be young.
That's very good, Meredith.
I cut it out of a magazine.
Uh-huh.
But that's nothing to the laugh you'll get at the surprise party. Uh-oh.
What surprise party, Meredith?
I could bite my tongue out. Well, so long as the rat is out of the bag, I might as well tell you that tonight I'm giving a surprise party for you at my house.
Well, this is a surprise.
Yes, of course, we should have had the party yesterday, but I couldn't get the hatchet till today.
What hatchet?
Well, don't you get the tie-up? Your birthday and George Washington's fall on the same day.
Oh, shucks, and I thought the banks were closed on account of me.
Wait till you see what we've got for this George Washington Young party.
Hmm?
Red, white, and blue ice cream,
Mm-hmm.
Little cherry trees with gumdrops tied on them.
Oh.
And little teeny rowboats full of peanuts with a slice of banana standing in the middle.
Wait a minute. What's the banana?
That's George Washington standing up.
Oh. And the peanuts are sitting down.
I guess so. You have to use your imagination in these things, Bob.
Oh, yeah.
And then besides, of course, we've got the whole place decorated with skeletons and jack-o'-lanterns.
Skeletons and jack-o'-lanterns.
Uh-huh.
Is that for George Washington or me?
Oh, no, they were left over from Halloween. You know, Bob, I was brought up to respect the old adage, waste not, want not.
Hmm.
But the party sounds good, don't you think so, Booby?
Booby. There's that nickname again, and I've forgotten the one I made up for you.
Run.
Oh, yeah, thanks. Run. Yes, I think the party's going to be sensational.
Well, you haven't heard the half of it. I won't tell you about all the wonderful games we're going to play, but the top of everything, we're going to have Gertrude Niesen sing for us.
Oh, no, I don't believe it.
Absolutely. If you don't believe it, ask her. Oh, Trudy.
Oh, yes, Meredith. Oh, hello, Bob.
Gertrude, is it true you're going to sing at Meredith's party tonight?
Oh, I thought it was a surprise. Meredith, why'd you tell him?
Oh, gee, I can't keep a secret. I wouldn't be worth 2 cents as a spy.
Oh, there you are.
Oh, hello, Frank.
Hello. Hello. Are you, Miss Niesen?
Yes, I'm Gertrude Niesen.
Oh, well, I'm Frank Morgan, Gertrude, and I'd like to have you meet some of my assistants here on the program. This is Jack Young. He helps out around the thing. And this long-haired fellow here, he's something with the music. He's got to get back to the stand, Meredith. You can go too, Jack.
I've already met the Mr. Morgan.
Oh, you can call me Frank if you don't want to ask. Now you want to get along on this program, don't you, Gertrude?
Oh, yes.
If I were you, dear,
Frank, leave this kid alone. And you listen to me, Gertrude. Stay away from Frank Morgan, and you'll stay out of trouble.
I've been stabbed.
Get out of here.
All right,
Go
Jack,
on.
all right.
Jack. Big stiff. What are you going to sing, Gertrude?
Twilight and Turkey.
Oh, the Raymond Scott tune. I didn't know there were any words to it.
Well, I wrote a few. I hope you'll like it.
I know I will. Go ahead and sing it.
Make you dance along to that turkey swing. Come along, be happy, not a care, just happy. You will learn how to dance and sing. Turkish ladies, laughing, loving, sweethearts gaily dashing, flashing. Come along, love flaring, cavaliers young daring, looking for lips that must be kissed. Love is hot, sad yearning, love is lips mad burning, looking for thrills that can't be missed. While the twilight glows and the red wine freely flows, it will set your heart to gaily dancing, get your feet to madly dancing, Turkish sweet. Dance along to that turkey swing. Come along, be happy, not a care, just happy. You will learn how to dance and sing. Turkish ladies, laughing, loving, sweethearts gaily dancing, flashing. Come along, love flaring, cavaliers young daring, looking for lips that must be kissed. Love is hot, sad yearning, love is lips mad burning, looking for thrills that can't be missed.
Gertrude Niesen will be back again later with another number, ladies and gentlemen. And now, ladies and gentlemen, here's Fanny Bryce as Baby Snooks. Last week, if you remember, we left Baby Snooks and Daddy, played by Hanley Stafford, on a train going to the World's Fair. Tonight we find them in the lobby of the hotel where they intend to stay during their visit. Daddy's at the desk registering. Listen.
Look at Daddy.
Snooks, stop climbing on that desk and leave that bell alone.
I want to play firing.
Come off there. Now stand still. I have to register.
Why?
So we can get a room and go to sleep.
Are we going to see the World's Fair?
Not tonight. We'll get up bright and early in the morning. Then I'll take you to see everything. What's the matter?
I want to see it now.
You can't see it now.
Well, I'll climb back on the desk.
Look out for that ink bottle. Oh. And here comes the clerk.
Let's go home, Daddy.
Well, what's this?
It's ink, mister.
What can I do for you, sir?
Oh, can you fix us up for a few days?
Well, I don't know. As a rule, we don't allow children in this hotel.
Oh, you'll find she's a little angel. She'll behave nicely. Won't you, Snooks?
No, I won't.
She's just sleepy. Aren't you, baby?
No, I ain't. I want to play firing. Wee, wee.
No.
She's all right. She's just lively. Jump off, little girl.
All right.
Oh, that's a good girl. Now, Mr.
Higgins. I just registered.
Mr. Higgins, yes. Well, we're pretty full right now. Let me see. There's a suite on the third floor. Half of it's occupied.
Oh, we won't disturb anybody. Can we get the other room?
I think so. There's only one thing. This room has no bath.
Oh, I like it.
Well, that's not so good, but if it's all you've got...
I'm sorry.
Oh, well, is it an outside room?
Oh, yes, all our rooms are outside.
What's the matter, Snooks?
I don't want to sleep outside.
Don't be silly. The room is inside.
Man said it was outside.
Well, honey, I meant the room is an outside room, but it's inside the hotel.
Huh?
Oh, Snooks. He means that some hotels have inside rooms and outside rooms, but this place has only outside rooms, and they're all inside. Now, what are you yelling about?
Because I think you're both crazy.
Cute, isn't she?
Yeah.
I think you're pretty, too.
I've always wanted a kid. My wife and I have been married for 13 years. So far, we haven't been blessed.
Brother, you've been blessed and don't know it. Can I have a look at the room?
Certainly, sir. Front. Oh, by the way, Mr. Higgins, that gentleman in the connecting room is rather cranky. He retires quite early,
Oh,
so...
we'll be very quiet. I'll see that everything...
Heavens, the bellboy fell flat on his face.
I tripped him up, Daddy.
Now, what did you do that for?
He was running away with our bags.
Oh, he's the bellboy. He's going to take our bags to our room.
Oh, I didn't know that, Daddy.
Oh, well, never mind. Come on. Let's get upstairs. Well, good night.
I say, Mr. Higgins, you know this hotel is all on the American plan.
Oh, yes. What time do you serve?
Breakfast is from 8 to 12, lunch from 12 to 2, tea from 2 to 4, dinner from 4 to 8, and supper from 8 to 12.
Daddy,
Yes?
is that when we eat?
Yes.
When the dickens are we going to see the fair?
Come on. Get in the elevator. Now, be careful. And face the front.
Look at Daddy. The wall is moving down.
The walls are not moving. We're moving.
Why?
Because we're moving.
Don't you like it here?
Yes, I like it here.
Then why are we moving?
We're not moving.
Is the walls moving? Yes, the walls are moving. No, they ain't.
All right, they ain't.
Why?
Oh, leave me alone. Come on. We get off here.
Where are we going, Daddy?
To our room. Hurry up. Let's follow the bellboy.
Where's he going?
To our room.
Is he going to sleep with us?
No. Keep quiet for 5 minutes. Now, here's our room. Start getting undressed.
All right. Hippity hop to the bobby chop to
Oh, here, boy. Never mind those windows. I'll
Hippity
fix
hop to the bobby chop.
Good night.
Andy, one for you and
Snooks.
one for me, and one for Andy.
Snooks.
Hippity hop to the bobby
Look,
chop.
stop that singing.
Aye.
Didn't you hear what the clerk said? There's a cranky man in that connecting room, and he's trying to sleep. He can hear every word we say.
I'll be quiet, Daddy. Hippity hop to the bobby chop.
Stop that! I mean, stop
get into bed.
All right. Daddy,
Yes?
what are we going to see tomorrow?
Oh, everything. That is, all the educational things. The Hall of Science, Palace of Electricity. We'll see the Hall of Mines.
Miss Sally Wren?
And how? I mean... What are you talking about?
I want to see her.
All right, I'll take you to see Sally Wren. But remember, you hounded me into it. What are you laughing at?
I won't tell Mommy.
Now, you stop that before I give you a good spanking. Go to sleep. If she wasn't my own kid, I'd swear she was a witch.
Huh? Huh?
Nothing. Good night.
Good night, Daddy. Daddy,
Well,
is we going to see the circus, too?
no. But I guess there'll be plenty of freak shows.
What's free?
Oh, weird kind of people. They have one fat, dopey-looking fellow with long hair growing over his face. It looks like a dog. I can't think of his name.
Uncle Louie?
No, it's not Uncle Louie. Now go to sleep.
Well, tell me your story.
No. You'll wake up that man in the other room. Now go to sleep.
I ain't sleeping.
Well, sleep anyway.
Well, tell me your story.
No! Now you've done it. You woke that man up.
What man?
The man in that room.
Ah, shut up with that racket!
It's Dick Whittington.
Haven't I got to get any sleep anywhere?
Good heavens. It's the same man from the train. I'm sorry, sir. We'll be quiet. Mustn't make another sound. All right, but a short one. Did you hear the story about the 3 holes in the ground? Well. Good night.
I'm not going to stand for this. Open up the door.
Oh, just a minute. Oh, look at the trouble you're causing.
Now listen here, mister. If you... Holy smoke, the same brat from the train.
Hello, suck 'em, Daddy.
Look, 40 million rooms in this town, and I got to pick the one next door to her.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry. Really, I am, sir. I'll see that she doesn't disturb you anymore.
Now, you better.
Now, you, I'm giving you a fair warning. If you disturb that man once more, you'll get it.
You'll get it too, Daddy.
Never mind that. Now go to sleep at once.
All right. Good night, Daddy.
Good night.
Daddy.
What is it?
If you tell me a little story, I won't ask any questions.
All right, but not a single interruption, you understand? Now, once upon a time, a fox saw a crow fly off with a piece of cheese in its beak and settle on a branch of a tree. So the fox decided he'd get the cheese. So he walked up to the foot of the tree and he said,
What, Daddy?
He said, "Good day, Mistress Crow. How well you're looking today. How glossy your feathers. How bright your eyes." The crow looked down at him, smiled. Oh, thank heaven. Oh.
What did the fox say, Daddy?
Oh, nuts, I thought he had her.
So did I, but I got her now.
Right now, friends, standing beside me is a person who is pretty well known to all of us here on the MGM lot. We see her almost every day around mealtime and even between meals over at the commissary. And I'd like to introduce her to you. Let me present Mrs. Frances Edwards, head of the MGM studio commissary.
Thanks, Warren, and good evening, everyone. You know, over at the commissary, they know I like to hear about it when things are good. They're right. Nothing gives me a bigger kick. And I'd just like to say that I get more compliments on the coffee than anything else. The new Maxwell house we're serving is really grand. And that comes from a woman who serves over 2,400 cups of coffee a day.
Thank you, Mrs. Edwards, for coming over. It's good news that not only here on the lot, but all over the country, so many people are discovering the new richness, the more abundant flavor of the new Maxwell House coffee. You see, today, after months of painstaking research and experiment, we've succeeded in making this already superb blend of coffee even richer, more delicious, more full-bodied than ever. You'll taste the difference in your very first steaming, fragrant cup. And then, too, we think you'll appreciate the amazing radiant roast process, which roasts each coffee bean evenly all the way through, and so brings out the true, natural goodness of these marvelous coffees. And to make sure you get the most from your Maxwell House in the making, we offer it to you in 2 scientifically correct grinds. There's regular grind Maxwell House for perfect results by percolator or boiled methods, or if you prefer drip coffee, there's the special drip grind for clear, sparkling, full-flavored coffee in any type of drip or glass coffee maker. So if you haven't tried Maxwell House lately, won't you order a pound tomorrow? Or if your family is a large one, you will find the 2-pound can economical and convenient. With your very first cup, you'll agree that this new Maxwell House is now, more than ever, good to the last drop.
One of the interesting things about working on a program like this is that you get a chance to read the letters that come in from you listeners. And when a new person comes onto the show and the letters begin to pour in, it's a real thrill. We've had this kind of thrill here on the Good News Show lately, reading the letters you've all written to us about the star of the great waltz, Milica Corchis. You like her. In fact, you seem to be crazy about her. And we are, too, so that makes it unanimous. It's a pleasure to have her with us again this evening. And I know you'll enjoy the song she's going to present now. It was written by the great Russian composer, Rimsky-Korsakov, and it's called The Rose Hath Charmed the Nightingale. Miss Corchis. Oh, that was beautiful, Milica.
Thank you.
Yes, I never heard anything so lovely, Miss Corliss.
Oh, Mr. Morgan.
Oh, thank you. I was terribly impressed with your singing. I watched you very carefully, and when you reached the fourth bar of the coda, I was fascinated by your arpeggio.
Thank you.
Miss Corliss, I've taken the liberty. That is, when you get back to your dressing room, you'll find a little basket there.
There's laundry.
Yeah. No, now see here,
Goodbye,
young.
Milica. See you later.
Goodbye.
Oh.
Well.
Young, why do you take it upon yourself to be a defender of the womanhood on this program?
Well, they're ladies, Frank. They don't want to have anything to do with you.
Are you questioning my esteem for Miss Coyers? My feelings toward her are 50% platonic and 40% chivalry. Are you going to persecute a man for 10%?
My agent.
Maybe you better repeat that.
Too late now.
Well, never mind your petty finances. I admire Miss Coyers. Do you think that a man would part with his most prized possession for a mere passing fancy?
All right. What's in the basket, Wolf?
A memento of my travels in the glamorous East, Bob. An everlasting reminder of those years I spent in picturesque China.
Hold your hats, girls. Here we go again.
Ah, Cathay, I love thy frozen peaks.
What?
Where have I heard that before? I love thy waving rice fields, thy beautiful pagodas, thy winding rivers, lined with reed and bamboo, clogged with sampan and junk.
Never mind about that junk. Tell us about the junk in the basket.
Young, I wish you could be a little more deft with your labored witticisms.
I wish I was deft all the time you're talking.
Thank heaven I'm a man of independent means. I don't have to come here every Thursday and take a lot of insults from a half-baked young whippersnapper who just stands up and doesn't seem to pay any do with what people does and has no...
Are you all through, Confucius?
Yes, I'm through.
Fine. What's in the basket?
Well, it so happens that basket, my gift to Miss Coyers, contains a beautiful objet d'art. A tiny figurine, delicately carved by hand from a precious piece of flawless, 100% genuine Oriental jade.
Is it real?
Well, if it isn't, I got gypped out of $1. I mean, what do you mean? Is it real? For 5 long weeks, I dug in the bed of a stagnant, foul-smelling pool in the heart of Manchuria and took the piece of jade from the earth with my own hands.
You mind it?
Oh, I got used to it after a while. Oh, you mean did I mind it? Of course. For the first 3 weeks, I mined in the traditional Chinese way, using an instrument called a Tao Shen.
Tao Shen, what's that?
Well, it's a bladeless knife without a handle. I didn't seem to make much progress with it, so I sent it to Montgomery and Roebuck's original branch and got a pickaxe. Cost me 45,000 yutangs.
How much is that in American money?
29 cents, including postage. Of course, the natives were astounded, never having seen such an instrument, and the word spread like wildfire that the white man was mining with jade with a tool of the devil.
Did they take it away from you?
They tried. A bandit chieftain came down from the hills and offered me gold in exchange for the pickaxe. I refused to sell and kept on digging. He stood beside me. He wheedled and cajoled. And finally, as the last resort, he brought 12 beautiful captive girls and offered me my choice of them in exchange for the instrument.
What did you do?
Well, I took my pick and... but I soon got tired of digging jade, so I took what I had mined and went to Hong Kong. To amuse myself, I began carving the jade and discovered I had a remarkable talent.
You were cut out to be a chiseler, Frank.
Yes. You're really in your stride tonight, young. Like Porter's mite yesterday.
Go on with the carving, Ham.
Well, I kept up my sculpture, but I confess I was doing it merely as Morgan the dilettante. It was a hobby. So you can imagine my astonishment when one morning I was called upon at my hotel by a delegation of the leading art critics from all over China.
What for?
Well, it was an extraordinary honor for an Occidental. The spokesman for the group bowed low as he came in the door and said, "O most remarkable sculptor of most beautiful objects since dawn of time, excuse the lowly presence of us poor, miserable, and ignorant nonentities." Well, that's the last straw, Cooley. I'll never tell the truth again.
Warren?
Yes, Bob?
It's just about time, isn't it?
It is, Bob. Time to invite all our friends all over the country to join in our familiar Thursday evening custom. A moment of relaxation over a steaming, fragrant...
cup of Maxwell House coffee.
Right, Gertrude Niesen. Nothing new to you, is it?
Oh, of course not, Warren. I think it's a grand custom. That's just why I butted in, if you see what I mean.
Oh, it's grand. Here's your cup then, Gertrude. And friends, here's yours and yours, for each and every one. A cup of this marvelous new Maxwell House coffee. And as you enjoy it, music of Meredith Wilson. We pause briefly for station identification.
KFI, Los Angeles.
This is Bob Young, and we continue our Maxwell House Good News Show with Melissa Corgis, Carrie Wilson, Fanny Bryce, and Hanley Stafford, and Gertrude Niesen. Miss Niesen is going to open our second act now with one of the smartest songs of the season, the hit of one of Broadway's current sellout musicals, Leave It to Me. You all know the song, Cole Porter's Get Out of Town.
Get out of town before it's too late, my love. Get out of town. Be good to me, please. Why wish me harm? Why not retire to a farm and be contented to charm the birds of the tree? Just disappear. I care for you much too much. And when you are near, close to me, dear, we touch too much. The thrill when we meet is so bittersweet that, darling, it's getting me down. So on your mark, get set, get out of town. Just disappear. I care for you much too much. And when you are near, close to me, dear, we touch too much. Dear, our love, like those clouds above, darling, it's getting me down. So on your mark, get set. Get out of town before it's too late, my love.
Gertrude, that was really something.
Thank you very much, Bob.
Yes, sir, I think our listeners will agree Gertrude Niesen is a marvelous addition to our Good News family. But right now, I'd like to have you all meet another distinguished guest for this evening, Carrie Wilson, the famous screen commentator whose trademark phrase is,
What do you think?
Yes, that's Carrie Wilson, Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer's commentator of short subjects. You hear his voice regularly in 13,000 theaters. Tonight, we're bringing his striking phrases right into your home. Carrie, what do you think going to be about tonight?
About a man you never heard of. A man who has done more than any other single individual to hold mankind together in some form of social fabric. I don't know this man's name. No one knows his name. No one will ever know his name. His identity is lost among the dim early pages of human history. He probably lived somewheres in southeastern Europe. At that time, the more or less human race was a pitifully primitive and aboriginal people. Life was cruel in those days 10,000 years ago, for life consisted of not much more than a never-ceasing movement, pausing a little while here, then desperately moving to there. Why? Because life was primarily a search for food. Food consisted sparsely of the occasional flesh of those wild beasts that could be slain with primitive weapons, but more importantly, food consisted of the grains, the fruits, the vegetables that might luckily be found growing. Found growing? Yes, for primitive man had no idea of agriculture. Homeless and helpless, he wandered around with his group or family until he found some food, he ate it up, he moved wearily on until he found more. Ruled by an absolute monarch, the old man of the tribe, and many a modern dictator would gnash his teeth in envy of the unlimited power of the old man, for the old man was deemed supernatural. Thus, when the old man died, these tragic people thought that perhaps the dreaded ruler had merely gone on a journey. So they carefully buried him to protect his body from wild animals. For the old man always had a very nasty temper indeed, and he would have been quite annoyed if he'd returned to find that one arm had been chewed off by a saber-toothed tiger. Furthermore, lest the old man feel neglected, they hastened to bury with him some food for his journey. For instance, grain. And so if perchance once out of 1,000 times some of this buried grain grew up through the ground again in the form of more food, they gratefully believed that the old man's spirit was pleased and had deigned to grant them a boon. And then along came the man whose name nobody knows and made his astonishing discovery. Scientists call it the greatest discovery the human race has ever made. We can't tell by what mental processes this man made his discovery, but make it he did. In his slow and limited mind evolved the conviction that this food growing out of the grave of the old man was neither gift nor miracle nor accident, but merely one of the regular processes of nature. And sooner or later, the so-called human race came to realize that if you will take some of the seeds of the bounty that grows from the earth and put them back into the earth, then not probably, but surely the earth will return you food 100-fold. And so the hungry human race didn't have to keep moving to find places where food was already growing. Now, with this magical secret, they could select a salubrious place and plant their seeds and know that the grain would rise up again in plenty. And therefore they could stay in that salubrious spot and for the first time remain in one place long enough to build themselves shelter against the elements. The first homes. These first homes were, no doubt, little more than caves or hollows gouged out of a cliff. But slowly and surely, down through the ages, they grew into houses, the forerunners of every building that ever existed on this foolish planet, the mothers of every skyscraper, every palace, every cottage that ever will be constructed by man. And the shallowest cave of 10,000 years ago was as much a home to these ancestors of ours as is the most luxurious mansion today. Perhaps more so, bearing in mind some mansions I know of. So let's pay tribute, every one of us, to the man who discovered agriculture, the man who gave us home, sweet home, the man whose name no one will ever know. I think he's the greatest individual that ever graced the genus of life we call man. What do you think?
I think, Carrie Wilson, that you probably won't find anyone to argue with you. And, Carrie, please try to dig up some more of these human interest stories, or perhaps your famous historical mysteries for future Good News of 1939 programs. Now, once more, Melitza Corgis. For her second number tonight, she has chosen an English song by Sir Julius Benedict called The Gypsy and the Bird. Miss Corgis will sing the gypsy part, and the bird is represented by a flute obligato. Meredith Wilson generally plays the flute obligatos on this program himself, but tonight he's letting one of his men do it. I suppose because he wants it to be good. Miss Corgis, the Gypsy and the Bird.
this joyous note. Sweet music every moment, still from its tiny throat, till the breeze is on, the breeze is on its moon. Die Treibe, die Meiden, was very, very vain. But my song is poor and fairly humble, till the sweet
Oh, that was beautiful. Ladies and gentlemen, you've just heard the gorgeous Miss Gorgeous sing The Gypsy and the Bird. And now we continue with...
excuse me, Bob.
Oh, hello, Daddy.
You know, Bob, I saw your picture, Honolulu, the other night,
And
well...
you think I'm great.
Yes, your voice has that...
Clear resonance and distinctive quality that commands attention.
Exactly. You have such...
Perfect self-assurance and stage presence that the people can't help loving. Is that what you were going to say?
To the letter. How did you know?
I'm psychic. What's Snooks going to recite?
Why, Bob.
Come on. Out with it.
Well, as long as you insist. Come here, Snooks.
All right, Daddy.
Bob, tonight Snooks is going to recite her poem with gestures.
I can hardly wait.
All right, Snooks. And don't forget the gestures.
Oh, Daddy.
Well, go right ahead.
Mary had a little lamb. Mary had a little lamb.
Hands in front.
Its fleece was white as snow.
Hands behind. Oh, what's the matter?
Don't tell me. I want to do it all by myself.
Oh, all right. Go right ahead then.
Mary had a little lamb in front. Its fleece was white as snow behind.
Snooks, never mind the gestures. Just recite.
All right. Mary had a little lamb. Its fleece was white as snow. Daddy.
Yes?
I never seen one.
Seen one what?
A white fleece.
Go on and recite.
And everywhere that Mary went, the lamb was sure to go. It followed her to school one day. That was against the rule. It made the children laugh and play to see a lamb at school. Oh, the teacher turned it out. But still it lingered near and waited patiently about till Mary did appear. And then it ran to her and laid its head upon her arm. And if it said, as if it said, I'm not afraid, you'll keep me from all harm. That's all. I didn't think it was so good.
Some of you may remember last summer Meredith Wilson made a European tour which convinced him that either the waltz was coming back or that the Lambeth Walk was going to take its place forever. Well, the waltz seems to be about where it's always been, and the Lambeth Walk seems to have taken it on the lam. So now Meredith has a new dance craze he's anxious to foist upon the public. It's called the Chestnut Tree. It's another English inspiration, and although he has tried to explain the dance to me several times, I haven't quite been able to get it. I'm sure it's my own fault, so I'll just let Meredith explain it to you in his own words. Ladies and gentlemen, the Waltz King, Meredith Wilson.
Thank you, Bob. Ladies and gentlemen, to make a long story short, I know a fellow named Jack Souls who has a friend that lives in England, stays there all the time. And this friend wrote this friend of mine that there's a new dance that is the favorite of the King of England, and he thinks it's going to sweep England just like the Lambeth walk.
Meredith, who is it that's sure the craze will sweep England? Mr. Souls or his friend or the King?
Mr. Souls.
Ah.
Well, to make a long story short, Mr. Souls' friend, or perhaps I should say Mr. Souls' friend, which...
One never knows, does one?
Well, that's a point that always confuses me. But this friend managed to lay hands on a copy of this song, and he sent it to Mr. Souls. And Mr. Souls, being also a good friend of mine, he passed it along to me. And then, to make a long story short, one thing led to another, and here we are.
Yes. Well, I think you'd better get down to earth and tell the people how to dance the chestnut tree, or whatever it's called.
Yes. Well, it's called the Chestnut Tree, and if the band will play it now, Bob Young will sing it. And then I'll show you how the dance goes. We do it all the time at our house now, and we all think it's more fun than blind man's buff. Come on in, Bob Young.
Okay, Meredith. Underneath the spreading chestnut tree, I loved her and she loved me. They used to climb upon my knee. I couldn't find my place. The spreading chestnut tree, there beneath the boughs we used to meet. All her kisses were so sweet. All the little birds went tweet, 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 'neath the spreading chestnut tree. I said, I love you, and there ain't no ifs or buts. She said, I love you, and the blacksmith shouted chestnut. Underneath the spreading chestnut tree, there she said she'd marry me. Now you ought to see our family 'neath the spreading chestnut tree.
And now I think we better have the band play a chorus just to establish the melody. Come on, boys. I think we ought to play one more chorus.
Play one for my Uncle Charlie when you get through, will you?
No, Bob, I'm serious. I want to demonstrate this dance. If only there was somebody here from England.
Meredith, I just came back from England. Peep, peep, choo-doo, pop-off. Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. Can you do the dance, Gertrude?
Well, I think I could learn it if you explain it to me.
Well, it's very simple. At the beginning, you just sort of hop around like this. A 1, 2, 3. Sort of.
Looks easy.
Well, then you hop around me, which puts you where I was, and I hop around you, and then I'm where you were, I think.
I'm right behind you.
Well, now here comes the good part, when you get to the words 'neath the spreading chestnut tree. On the word 'neath, you bend your knees a little and put your hands down underneath.
Underneath where?
Well, just underneath.
Well, why didn't you say so?
Well, then on spreading, we both straighten up and spread our arms. Chest, point to your chest. Nut, point to your head. Tree, pretend you're a tree with your arms up in the air like this. Now, you understand?
No, I don't understand a word of it, but I'll follow you. Let's move.
Underneath the spreading chestnut tree, I loved her and she loved me. Then she used to sit upon my knee, the spreading chestnut tree. Then beneath the boughs we used to meet.
Well, they're doing it.
Were so sweet. All the little birds went
right here on the stage.
The spreading chestnut tree.
Well, that's some dance.
And there ain't no ifs or buts. She said, I love you.
They got a whole set of motions that go.
Underneath the spreading chestnut tree, there she said she'd marry me. Now you ought to see our family.
Oh, little family.
The spreading chestnut tree.
Now they make it like a tree.
Friends, since we've been telling you about Maxwell House Coffee and how Joel Cheek created this famous blend down in Nashville, Tennessee, we've received many letters from people who knew Mr. Cheek many years ago. Just the other day, we received this fine letter. It comes from Mr. W.R. Smith of 1816 Jennings Avenue, Fort Worth, Texas. He says,
listening to your program each Thursday evening takes me back many years to my boyhood days back in old Nashville, where I was born and reared. I drank Maxwell House there when I was a young man nearly 50 years ago. Then I moved to the grand state of Texas, and I've been drinking it here ever since. I've tried other brands during the years gone by, and while some of them were fairly good, I can truthfully say that my favorite brand has a taste peculiarly its own and a freshness beyond all others. I write you this letter partly on account of dear memories of old Lang Syne and partly to let you know that my taste is shared by thousands of other friends of Maxwell House, and that causes me to think I just can't be wrong.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. It's a pleasure to hear from an old friend of Maxwell House Coffee. We're proud that ever since that master coffee blender Joel Cheek created it more than 50 years ago, Maxwell House has made and held millions of good friends like yourself. And we're particularly proud that today, this famous blend of the world's choice coffee has more friends than ever. It's a fact that more people are enjoying Maxwell House today than ever before in its history. And we believe that's due to two remarkable improvements we've been able to make. First of all, Joel Cheek's original Maxwell House blend has been still further improved. Today it's richer, more delicious, more downright satisfying than ever. And then, too, there's the amazing radiant roast process we've developed, which roasts each coffee bean evenly all the way through, and so brings out the true natural flavor of this superb new blend. With radiant roast, there's no chance of weak coffee due to under-roasting or bitter coffee due to parching. So if you haven't tried Maxwell House lately, won't you order a pound tomorrow? You'll discover with your very first cup why Maxwell House brings so much pleasure to so many millions. You'll find out why now, more than ever, it's the time to make friends with Maxwell House.
Concert hall selection tonight, Meredith Willson pays tribute to a man you all remember. A man who was a good friend to Meredith Willson and who was known and loved to millions of you through his famous newspaper column, New York Day by Day. The orchestra plays a movement from Meredith's own original composition, the O.O. McIntyre Suite. It's called Thoughts While Strolling. wind us up for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. But here's a flash on next week's show. Next week, a preview of MGM's sensational new musical, The Ice Follies of 1939. And we're going to have with us the stars of the picture, Joan Crawford, Jimmy Stewart, and Lou Ayres. So we'll have plenty of good news next week with these stars plus the regular gang, Fanny Bryce and Hanley Stafford, Frank Morgan, Gertrude Niesen, and Meredith Wilson. See you next Thursday, and in the meantime, go to the movies and take the family with you. I know you'll enjoy our new MGM hit picture, Idiot's Delight. This is Bob Young saying good night.
This is Warren Hull saying good night and good luck for the makers of Maxwell House.